Here's 10 reasons why you should never consider purchasing a high-frequency, transformerless inverter for powering your home that the YouTube affiliate advertisers hope you never find out about. Fail number 10. All high-frequency, transformerless inverters offer the poorest peak power capacities out of any other inverter technology on the market. A high surge capacity is critical for the long-term starting of high-inductance loads, such as power tools, microwave ovens, air conditioning, and motorized household appliances. Virtually any appliance that uses a transformer or electric motor. You may be able to start some of these high surge loads when your high-frequency inverter is new, but the long-term, repeated powering of these high inductance loads will shorten the life expectancy of your high-frequency inverter. Fail number 9. The components used in high-frequency transformerless inverters operate under higher levels of stress than the components used in low-frequency transformer-based inverters, due to their higher operating voltages and higher switching speeds, which can lead to excessive wear on the inverter's MOSFETs, diodes, and capacitors, again shortening the life expectancy of the inverter. Fail number 8. In order to sell these high-frequency inverters as cheaply as they do, the Chinese had to remove the most important component in an inverter, the output transformer, and replaced it with a complex mashup of cheap Chinese-made diodes, MOSFETs, capacitors, and inductors. In other words, you'll get what you paid for. You may think that you're saving some money up front by purchasing one of these low-cost, high-frequency, transformerless inverters. But after you've had to replace it for the second or third time over the next 2 to 5 years, you'll realize, like so many others before you, that you dumped your money down that proverbial drain. Fail number 7. Because of their exceedingly complex design, high parts count, and the lack of available schematics, once the warranty on a high-frequency inverter runs out, it will be nearly impossible and expensive to find a shop that will perform repairs. That's why they're known as throwaway inverters. Fail number 6. Due to the lack of an iron core, copper-wound transformer, high-frequency inverters tend to produce a distorted waveform when starting and powering heavy or high-inductance loads. This distorted sine wave can damage sensitive electronic loads that are connected to the inverter's output. That's why you'll rarely see any YouTube affiliate advertisers with an oscilloscope connected to the inverter that they're promoting. Fail number 5. If you were expecting or are in need of a quieter inverter, then you should avoid a high-frequency inverter. Because high-frequency inverters operate at a much higher switching speed, when under load, they require much more aggressive cooling measures, which translates into multiple, noisy, high-speed cooling fans. While low-frequency inverters do produce some fan noise, the sound is nowhere near the level of a high-frequency inverter. Fail number 4. When it came to pricing, high-frequency inverters used to have an edge over low-frequency inverters. But now, because of technological advancements and more competition entering the market, despite the major differences in performance, safety, and reliability, the price difference between these two technologies has substantially narrowed to just a few dollars. From a financial perspective, it simply no longer makes sense to purchase a high-frequency transformerless inverter. Fail number 3. First of all, I'd like to say that there are a lot of great products out there that are manufactured in China. On the other hand, especially when it comes to high-frequency power electronics, there's also a lot of poorly designed junk being shipped into the US. Fortunately for consumers, US customs law requires that a country of origin label be affixed to products and their packaging in a clear, legible, permanent, and easily viewable manner. Unfortunately, a few dealers based in the US have allegedly begun the illegal practice of removing their products' Made in China labels in what appears to be an effort to mislead consumers. Fail number 2. Like they always have since the introduction of low-cost, high-frequency inverter technology, many of these Chinese inverter manufacturers boast about their product's warranty. But if you've been involved in the renewable energy industry as long as we have, then you're probably aware that these long warranties are merely a ruse. We've seen it time and time again. When these Chinese high-frequency inverter manufacturers begin receiving too many warranty requests, in order to avoid honoring their warranties, they merely close their doors and later reopen under a new name. They've been doing this same thing for decades. And finally, fail number 1. The most important and dangerous issue with high-frequency transformerless inverters is their lack of an iron core, copper-wound output transformer. Without this transformer to provide galvanic isolation between the inverter's DC boost stage and its AC output, during a catastrophic failure of the inverter's control circuitry, or its H-bridge circuit, high amperage DC current can pass through the AC circuit breaker that can not only damage your AC appliances, but can also set those appliances or your EV on fire. We're the original DIYsolar.com. For more than 27 years, we've operated one of the nation's oldest and most trusted inverter repair centers. In the second half of this video, we'll show you an example of one of our lowest priced, highest performance off-grid solar systems featuring a robust, US-designed, low-frequency, transformer-based inverter.
Flick the switch on the endless burn. Wires tangle like lessons unlearned. Choking skies and the meter spins. We can't keep feeding this machine, but there's a way out. Yeah, a new frontier. Freedom shining and it starts right here. Off the grid, off the chain. No more ties to the power game. DIYsolar.com, bringing the future where we belong. Off the grid, off the grid. Panels glint like a rebel shield.
We use only the finest inverters, batteries, solar modules, and PV mounting systems in our DIY off-grid solar systems. And we only utilize transformer-based inverters, ensuring your appliances are protected from the harmful effects of DC leakage and unstable power. In contrast, all competing high-frequency, transformerless inverters lack this proven and critically important level of protection. Because of these issues with high-frequency inverters, you'll never find one of these cheap, Chinese-made high-frequency, transformerless inverters that everyone else is selling in our systems. And you'll never have to worry about our low-frequency transformer-based inverters damaging your home's appliances like our competitors' transformerless inverters can.